Hey, hey, Brandon.
Yeah, Tom, hi.
I have a question for you.
Yeah, I'm here for answers.
On Thursday Night Football, why is football no good?
Well, Tom, clearly the football gods have decided no touchdowns on Thursday Night Football. They must have fallen asleep from being bored from the game and allowed a couple in there, but I want to agree with Tom Brady. There's a lot of bad football right now, Tom.
I was doing SOS with my eyes in Morse code.
You're my captive. Shut up.
Oh, baby, we here.
We steer.
You in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a Friday edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is G. He has...
Yeah, you got to beat that old intro out of me. I just wait for you to finish. I just every time.
Oh, well, that's very polite of you.
Every time I'm like, shoot, that's my line.
That's my cue.
And I created it. That's how bad I am.
Folks, we're here to break down the Thursday night game, which featured the Washington Commanders taking on the Denver Broncos last night.
Question that I want everybody to answer right now. Which game was worse? Broncos, Colts?
You know what? I say we put a poll.
Let's poll it.
You know what? Let's put a poll. Let's put a poll.
I want to do a poll.
Game was worse.
Okay? I want to be a poll boy.
You know what? Make your money. Make your money. And then the Commies versus Bears. Okay, I put a poll. I'm asking the community right now. We're doing it. We're going to get it. Let's go. Ooh, listen, Barney the Dinosaur at least was aimed towards children. Thursday Night Football is supposed to be football, and it's not. It's just absolutely not. But it's okay.
How many votes can we get?
1 million.
Ooh.
And 2.
Yeah.
1 million and 2.
Too much. Take them back.
Take them all back. Yeah, we have a lot to break down. We're going to, of course, talk about the Thursday Night Football game. But then on top of that, we're going to talk about Brandon Perna's point and Tom Brady's point about, are there just too many bad teams? You know, is that the issue? And considering he's coming hot off the heels of Roger Goodell after doing the whole London tour and saying, yeah, you know, we could do 2 more teams here, and then it would be great if we had a whole division here. Is there just not enough talent to go around for all these teams to make them competitive?
There's enough talent. It's just we're in a lull. It happens. But I think the NFL should consider building a stadium in Iceland.
Ooh, like right outside of Reykjavik?
Yeah. And that way, like, it's kind of, you don't have to fly all the way to Europe, right? Or just build an island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean.
Yo, play during a hurricane. Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah, it's like Venice, but it's just, you know, it goes up and down with the water.
Listen, I got this.
Okay.
Justin Tucker attempts a 99-yard field goal because it's during a hurricane. So he just kicks it and that ball just sails. I'd watch it.
Yeah. Swirling wind. Justin Tucker, still perfect with the kick.
Yep, exactly.
I would trust him to kick through a blizzard, through a hurricane, through a tornado, through a mudslide, through a volcanic eruption.
Mm-hmm.
I would trust him with my life. Like, if I was going into surgery for, I don't know, a heart attack, and they had to like do triple bypass.
Okay.
I just want Justin Tucker in the corner of the room. It'd make me feel safe.
He's just like, I don't know if I'm going to make this. You just open your eyes a little bit. You see Justin Tucker in the corner. You're like,
I got this. I just want to hear him singing a little opera. Oh my God.
He's just playing the harp in the corner.
Yeah.
It takes him with his toes.
And if I die, that's a poetic way to go out.
I mean, that's a way to go. He went out. Was he a fan of the Ravens? No. He just like Justin Tucker's
Just
work.
big Justin Tucker fan. Just loves everything that guy does.
I'm telling you, just like he just plays the harp with his toes, and it's beautiful. He just stands in the corner.
That sounds like a very popular fetish video.
I'd watch it, not for weird reasons, but
no. Of course not.
Just to hear how good.
Before we get into it, I gotta thank everybody showing up to watch this show 3 days a week. We're in season 2 of GPS, and I don't mean this like this is not shallow. You guys showing up to do this, freaking awesome. We appreciate it. Last night we saw Tom Grossi crush Barstool Sports with his live stream. Can't do that without you guys showing up. And obviously, that's not me. That's just Tom. That's just Tom out there. I want to be. Tom's going to take over the world. He's going to be president. I'm fine with vice president. Okay. He's going to be Conan. I'll be Andy Richter. All right. I am the sidekick. We're going to the moon. This is just the beginning. But you guys showing up for this shit, it keeps us motivated. I just want to say that. I don't say it enough. I feel like you guys think I take you for granted. I don't. I need you. I'm insecure.
I need you. We love you. Al Michaels is making like $1 million a game. Like that's what I loved about yesterday. Facts. But like they're like, oh, he sounds so sad. I feel so bad. I'm like, Al Michaels literally is making $1 million a game. So I think he's gonna be okay.
Oh yeah, Al is great.
Right. Oh, it's all part of the plan. That's it.
Oh
That's
yeah,
it.
it's.
But I appreciate you folks. Like Perna's saying, listen, yesterday was pretty cool. It was pretty wild. So
for like a horrible game, and you're outperforming Barstool, and Big Cat is a huge Bears fan. Like that's beating them at their own game. Tom, they had home field advantage. They played like the Bears. You came in and you were the Buffalo Bills. You're not the Packers anymore.
I was about to say, I can't even be the Packer. I mean, we did beat them, but
yeah. Well, here's what's interesting from Thursday Night Football. Okay, and I watched more of that game than. Whoa! Do you even check the chat? What does that mean?
Sorry, I just had to stare at that. Continue.
What was I saying? I watched too much of that game.
Me too.
So in the post game, I actually really like the Thursday night crew after. Like I love Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really just like Ryan Fitzpatrick. But because they were talking about Justin Fields struggling, and he was just like pounding the table for the Bears and new offensive coordinator. What's his name? Luke
Getsy.
Luke Getsy.
Yep.
Basically trying to shove a square peg into a round hole and not utilizing Justin Fields' strengths. And from what Ryan Fitzpatrick sees, they're trying to make Fields fit the system, and they shouldn't be doing that. What's interesting about that to me is we've got Russell Wilson with Nathaniel Hackett running the same system they ran in Green Bay, which they had a ton of success with in Green Bay because they have Aaron Rodgers. So it's like, how much of what's going on with Justin Fields this season with Russell Wilson in his transition is on those guys versus them trying to be asked to do things that aren't tooled to their strengths? And the difference is Russ is just older. It's like he's been that guy where just so deadly outside the pocket, so deadly extending plays, could run the ball, and Fitzpatrick's like, you just got to let Justin Fields do that. Stop asking him to be a pocket passer and do these things. That said, like everybody criticizes play design, right? But there's just, if you watch the Bears, you watch the Broncos, there's so many missed opportunities. I felt like the Bears were the Broncos when I was watching that game last night. I was like, they're making the same mistakes. And it's, what was the difference in that game? A muffed punt by the Bears that set up the Commanders for an easy touchdown. So anyway, that was my takeaway from it. And
I'd love to talk about this.
Praise be Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I would love to talk about the Chicago Bears ruining Justin Fields. I would love.
Yeah, and I'm not saying it's all the Bears, right? Like, I don't think Justin Fields is a good NFL quarterback yet, but two different coaching systems, in his first 2 seasons for a guy you knew had great talent, was going to be a developmental thing. Like, that's a tough situation to succeed in. Throw on bad offensive. Like,
let's talk about
dude, like Fields just gets the piss beat out of him. I've never seen a quarterback take so many hits. I feel like every throw, after the throw, he just boom, shot. I felt like he could hand the ball off and somebody would just come out of nowhere and hit Justin Fields. Like, that's how bad it was.
Brandon, I'm so glad that you brought this up. And I know I put it in the rundown, but I am very ready. And I'm actually contemplating. I was talking to a good friend of the show. You know him well. One Johnny Barks. And we were talking about there hasn't been a traditional Grossi news vid in a while, kind of just like breaking down like something that's going on with the Packers or something like that. And I was thinking about this last night as I was streaming about doing a Justin Fields video. And I know you did one, but I wanted to get... you're still working on it.
It's going up Sunday.
Got it. So, because I made a video years ago for Mitch Trubisky, in which I said that basically what Mitch Trubisky was going through wasn't all on Mitch Trubisky. And it sounded very similar to what you just said, because Mitch Trubisky, and we've even seen this here in Pittsburgh, even though he has a crap offensive line, right? Like there's issues that are going on with Pittsburgh too. But it's the same problem that they had with Trubisky. Trubisky, when he was at his best, right? They had a really dynamic and great, powerful run game, and they had a strong defense, and they allowed him to do stuff on the fly, run out of the pocket, use his legs, and that's how they won. Yeah. And you look at, and I'm going to give the credit here because this is the second time that I'm going to give him credit. You look at Mike McCarthy, and right now, the game plan that they are calling for Cooper Rush is the perfect example of what to do when you know your QB's limitations. And I'm not saying that Justin Fields is Cooper Rush. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying if we're saying that Justin Fields is not an NFL-ready QB yet, well, then you need to cater to your QB, right? Yeah. Or cater a game plan around that's going to make the team more successful. Yeah. And I'm sorry, when you have Khalil Herbert, who's ripping off like a 40-yard run, and then you barely utilize him again, especially in the red zone, I don't know what you're doing. When you're not handing it to David Montgomery, who is one of the better running backs in the NFL, I don't know what you're doing. When you know that you have an offensive line that is constantly hammering Justin Fields over and over and over again, I don't know why you're putting him in these positions. What I saw last night was honestly very similar to Russell Wilson, is that I saw a ton of hesitation, a ton of it. Yeah. Every time he went to go run, there would be like this little like, I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to. And then he would, go. And he, again, is a dynamic player because the highs are really high with Justin Fields. He can make really good throws. He can run really, really well and gash defenses. And when they drafted Justin Fields, all the Chicago Bears fans, this is our savior, right? And I said he could be. He 100% could be. The issue is, are the Bears going to allow him to develop, or are they going to ruin him? And instead, everyone was upset when they threw Andy Dalton out there. And I said, no, you need to throw him out there so he can get murdered behind that O-line. And then they put Justin Fields in, right? And it was like, okay, show those flashes like against the 49ers. Like, he had like that really good play. He's doing all this stuff. And now what you've seen is, yes, their wide receivers, it's a bit of a problem. But at the same time, their offensive line is also an issue. The play calling is hot garbage. And Justin Fields has developed bad habits. Yeah. Right? The guy does not look comfortable in a pocket at all.
And I saw him smoking on the sideline, like Jay Cutler.
I mean, I would.
The Bears build bad habits for your QB.
They showed on the sideline they even mentioned the announcer. I don't know if you saw that, him doing like the yoga breathing. Because like you see him just go... Like, he looks genuinely like pissed off. And I don't blame him. And I'm not saying Justin Fields is an amazing quarterback, just like I'm saying with Mitch Trubisky. But I think the guy is too young and too talented coming out of college to look the way that he does. And that's a problem. So I think the Bears have just not given him the tools to succeed. And that's why you're seeing the performance you're seeing on here. And again, he might just not be an NFL QB, right? Like we've seen bust before. But I think to give him the best opportunity, the Bears are not there for him.
No, it's always a little bit of both, right? Where he's not playing as well as people expected, and it doesn't feel like he's been given the best opportunity to succeed by building around him. And it feels like, he's been so bad that there's just this desire to throw him under the bus right away. Like his first completion of the game, Kirk Herbstreit just pointed out everything that was wrong with the completion. Like, I was like, oh man, that's a terrible position to be in, where, you get a playoff and the announcer is just like, these are the 3 things that he needs to do better, even though that was a completion.
Perna, you got a fitty.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, he doesn't have the best tight end in the league, Mark Andrews, to help him. That is absolutely true.
I don't think we have a Ravens clip, do we?
Oh, we've got a new clip, actually, Tom.
Oh, no.
This is for Carl. Okay, hold on. That was blocked by the super. Thank you, everybody.
The worst part is I know how you got that, and that's what makes it worse. So last night while I was streaming, Sinclair wandered on in. So I picked her up and put her on my lap. And fans of the stream know that every now and then, and it's not that it doesn't get taken care of, but I guess it's time to do it again, Sinclair leaks some ass juice. And so I looked at her, like it's just like her anal glands. It happens. Yep. And so I looked down and I looked at her and she was looking up at me, and then I smelled it and I put her down, and then I had to grab a Clorox wipe and I had to scrub it out of my jeans. So that's what this moment was, okay? Because I was streaming and had to take a Clorox wipe to clean my dog's anus juice off of my jeans, okay? This is live TV, folks. That's it.
It's rare when what was actually happening is more disgusting than what it looks like you were doing.
Yep.
Oh, oh my God, that's so disgusting. Our 2 cats, sometimes one of them gets a dingleberry, just lives on her butt, and she'll just rub it across the carpet. So I get it.
Yep.
Either way, we got the Tom jerks it to Xmas music clip locked up all season, ladies and gentlemen.
So thank you, Johnny. Thank you so much.
My little birds everywhere.
Yep. Nope. It's Johnny Barks. I know exactly what it is. There's no...
I've got one little bird.
Okay, Johnny.
He is a Osh machine.
I have some problems with PayPal in the near future. What's going to happen there?
Yeah.
Johnny's just going to work that into like power rankings. It's like, and number 3.
Tom cleaning anal juice off his pants.
Yep.
But you're right. Like the difference though, like with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson, is Russ has been in the league long enough where he should be able to adjust, and he should be able to adjust more quickly. But both teams have good defenses. I would say the Bears have a better running back duo right now than the Broncos.
Oh yeah.
Maybe Denver has the edge in receivers just because Cortland Sutton is so good, but like you're kind of underperforming there. And on the flip side, we saw the Commanders kind of get let down by some of their guys not making catches. Like Wentz hits Curtis Samuel, which should have just been a touchdown. It goes through his hands. Wentz gets the win in that game. He throws for 99 yards, doesn't even break the century mark. One of my favorite quarterback stats, the W in less than 100 yards passing. And like you said, Khalil Herbert, only 7 carries last night. It's like
ripped one off.
I don't know how you don't go, like, it's not that you should take carries away from David Montgomery, but I saw this last year with Pat Shurmur so frequently where you don't identify the running back who just might have the hot hand in that game.
Yeah.
Like if he rips off one of those, just keep going back to him. Like sometimes guys just got a better feel for the game and just let him feast a little bit. And that will help your quarterback so much. So much.
Oh, you're saying they should just run the ball? Wow.
A little more. Yeah.
I wonder what other NFC North team could benefit from those words of wisdom.
All of them. Except for the Vikings, who are perfect. I just said he should be playing better, man.
Stop making excuses.
You hear what you want to hear. I said he should be playing better.
Yeah. Again, and the Bears, that was a very winnable game. And again, Fields didn't look too bad against the Vikings last week. So like he is not consistent, and I think that he has developed bad habits. It's just gonna be a matter of, is he too late? But something that I was also saying before this season, that's the whole goal of the Chicago Bears this year, right? Try to evaluate what they have in Justin Fields. Because if you don't have your guy, that's a problem. And I don't think they're going to cut loose from him after this year, even if he has an abysmal year. They're going to give him another shot because they're going to get an influx of cap space and like a whole bunch of cap money next year. So they're going to be able to spend money if they want to. But yeah, they need to help him significantly and then be able to evaluate, hey, here we go. I imagine next year is going to be the evaluation year where it's like, this is our guy or it's not.
Yeah. It's like, you got to give guys time. Especially when they're as talented as Justin Fields. It's just,
and you gave up a lot to go get him.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's not like you were expecting to go to the playoffs anyway, right? So we were talking about this on Clickbait yesterday, the idea of like tanking or what have you. Well, no, you're not going to tank. It's just the expectations were not playoffs this year. So you evaluate the talent that you have. Who's going to remain on this squad next year when you are rebuilding? Who do you want to be part of that rebuild? And that's why like tanking is dumb, because you can't tell a quarterback that wants a job or a running back that's on a contract year, hey, we're tanking this year, so don't play too well. That's just never going to happen.
Yeah, there's too many people involved for that to be like a legit plan.
Yeah,
there's too many guys trying to
earn a living,
secure their next contract that's going to ensure, that they're set up for the rest of their life. Like, you cannot collectively get 53 men to be like, yeah, we'll all go out and play horrible together, because like, how many, like 15, 20 of those guys, they'll just dispose of at will. And if those guys are putting up bad film, like, they're not going to get another job. You can't collectively do it. So it's like a logistical problem outside of just a bad way to approach being an NFL football team and continuing to build as an NFL football team. It'd be nice to see the Bears. Well, to credit the Bears, that they were trying to invest in the line. It's just like, was Tevin Jenkins just hasn't really turned into this dominant.
He hasn't turned into the guy they thought he would. Yeah,
I thought he was going to be
godly coming out of college.
Yeah. So it's just, sometimes your plans don't work.
So to kind of bounce off this, we're talking about two terrible teams who played last night. That kind of brings us to the conversation that we opened the show with, talking about what's going on in the NFL, because it does seem that the quality of play has declined a bit. And Brandon Perna, I know you have some stats to support this hypothesis.
I got one stat, because here's last year, okay? Thursday night football, the first month and a half, we were like, oh my God, all of these games are great. Okay. This year, they've been the opposite. They have been basically the worst games every week have been on Thursday, which is kind of what usually happens with Thursday night football. You get like every 2 or 3 weeks, there's a good game. But right now, the NFL is averaging just 21.7 points per game, which is the lowest since 2017. Now that's like 2-3 points less than, the highs that were
usual. Yeah.
At. And a part of that, I think, is just there's been a lot of bad games where both teams are scoring very few points, as opposed to where it's like one team scores a bunch and just blows out the opponent. So like 2021 Thursday night football opens up with Tampa Bay, Dallas, 31-29. Washington, New York Giants, 30-29. Carolina, Houston, you get a blowout, 24-9. Cincinnati, Jacksonville, 24-21. Rams, Seahawks, 26-17. Buccaneers, Eagles, 28-22. So we had all of these good games in prime time on Thursday when a lot of people are watching, when, a lot of people who might not watch all of the games on Sunday, like us freaks, the attention's going there. So we had a bunch of really good games versus these. What was last night's 12-9? What was the final score? Those Broncos was 12.
And that's the thing too. It's not just the Thursday night games. I think the reason why we're talking about this a lot is because it's the primetime games.
Yeah.
Because the primetime games have been rough. I mean, like the Bengals Ravens was like pretty good. This past Monday night, good. But yeah, like it's
Like, and the Broncos have been in some of those primetime games. So even
trust
like
me, I
that
know.
Niners game was very low scoring.
49ers game was really, really bad. Of course, like we're talking about the Thursday games, and the only like it was the kickoff one, which was good. Actually, that wasn't even that good. No, it was the Bills just beat the crap out of the Rams. The first the real Thursday night football, the Chiefs Chargers was solid. Like that was good. But
Yeah, and then that would have even been better had Herbert not gotten hurt in that game.
exactly. Yeah. So a lot of these primetime games, I think when all the lights are on and people are really watching and paying attention, that's when the game's not been great. And so it's like furthering this narrative of like, hey, like I know a lot of people are looking at this Sunday and they're like, the Chiefs Bills needs to be in primetime. Like that's a primetime game. CBS is like, no, this is my game. And like you were going to get Philly and Dallas. I'm not going to lie. I would not be surprised if that's a super low scoring game.
Ooh, yeah, that could go either way for sure.
I think you might see two good defenses and they just like lean on the run because you know that the offense of the Cowboys are not going to put up a ton of points.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I think they're going to hand the ball off a lot.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised. And then Monday, we got Broncos Chargers.
Woo! It's going to be one of two games. It's going to be a close loss by the Broncos or a blowout by the Chargers, defeating the Broncos. Those are the only two options I see, Tom. But that's the thing, too. It's like, okay, Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
Bad football team right now. Yes. Great defense. Overall, bad team. They are underperforming. The Bengals have been underperforming.
Yes.
The Broncos have been underperforming. The entire NFC West feels like it's underperforming. So you got the Rams playing worse. The best team are the 49ers, but they're this weird like defensive team. They've had this QB change because Trey Lance is gotten hurt. The Dolphins were overperforming, then they get injuries, and now they are underperforming. Cardinals, the one thing you thought, hey, maybe they're not great, but their offense should score, a lot of points. They should be in games. They're underperforming. The Seahawks are overperforming, but it's still bad. Panthers are atrocious. We didn't think they would be good, but maybe competitive. So
the Falcons are better.
It feels like all of these teams, you would expect some of those teams to be bad, but it feels like half of them should be better than they are. And I think that's also contributed to it. Just feels like there's just a lot of really mediocre to bad football teams right now. And that's like saying, let's give everybody a month to kind of find their feet. Sure. They've had the month. They're still looking like, offense is behind defense this year.
Well, then that's the thing, too. We talked about it on Wednesday. We were ranking teams. Like the standouts in the AFC are only two teams, right? It's the Bills and it's the Chiefs. And like before week 5, like the vast majority, I think it was all but like 3 teams were above 2-2. So like that's kind of what you look at right now. I think that there's just kind of like we'll have a really good game. Oh, maybe they're contenders. And then they lose the game, right? Or it's like a really, really close game. So, I mean, that's not a bad thing necessarily because it means like it kind of just plays to the old moniker of, hey, any given Sunday. But at the same time, like sometimes the product is not great. And it's not even like you need to score a ton for it to be a good game. Because I think like you can have two good defenses that are constantly like going at it. But like we've just seen also some really bad offenses in primetime.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, penalties.
I think that's true every year.
Help. But that's the thing, too. Like, the people are like, we want to challenge penalties and stuff. Like, that's just going to slow the game down significantly more. Like, we're basically trying to solve a problem that the original problem has created instead of solving the original problem. So
I think we should be able to penalize the NFL when they do too many bad penalties. So then they overcorrect the next week by not throwing it.
NFL blitz.
Yeah. How do we penalize the NFL? That's what I want.
Dan Snyder.
Oh, man. If they get over a certain amount of wrong calls every week, they have to give back the advertising money that week. Boom.
Good luck for that, buddy. Good
luck. Hit them in the pocketbook.
Good luck enforcing that. I want to talk about this for a hot second. Like, this is because the games have not been great. Do you think Thursday Night Football should still be a thing? The players don't like it. Because
nobody does, except when it's a good game.
It's a short week. You're more at risk for injury.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, it's not going away because Amazon just paid $1 billion for it.
13 billion.
Yeah. Is a billion a season, right? It's like 1.1.
Yeah, 1 point something B's a season.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a great deal year 10 of that contract. Like I see people tweeting like, oh my God, Amazon's paying $78 million a game. Who cares? Like,
Do you know how much
they're
money they're
getting their
gonna
money
make?
back, guys.
Yeah, it's
Their,
insane.
their advertising revenue is probably ridiculous. They signed up more Prime members in one day that opening week than any other day in the history of Amazon. Like, it's working out for them. I don't think Thursday night football should happen. Like if and the NFL is not going to give up like a primetime game every week.
I would
And
do
I've said like they
Saturday
should
night.
move it to Saturday, but
Yes,
apparently
Saturday night would be solid.
they can't move it to Saturday because of college football. Like somebody said there's like a monopoly rule or something and they can't do it. It would just be a better product if it were on Saturday and players had more time, because it's not even like an injured player going out there.
Sure.
It's a healthy player and his body's still trying to recover from Sunday's football game, or it's every team coming off a bye, then they play Thursday night. So they get the 10-day rest or whatever. It's just probably impossible to do with the schedule, but it's not going anywhere. I would like them to do something different with it, but it's just, I don't know. They could do Friday night. It's an extra day, but like nobody wants to work on Friday night. You know what I mean? It's Friday. It's time to party. Let's get drunk in front of our TV alone while our kid is asleep. Who kept us up all night last night, by the way. Good God.
It's a vibe. You're feeling the vibe, right?
I slept like 4 hours, guys.
Crushing it.
Healthy, just crying every 20 minutes for no reason. That's what they don't tell you about being a parent. Just when you're getting comfortable, your kid says, not tonight, Daddy. Not tonight.
Anyway, real quick, I also saw this because this was in the chat while I was streaming about Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
So I will be honest, I didn't have a chance to look into it. Did it come from Texas? That's where another lawsuit was filed?
Another civil suit filed against Deshaun Watson for what's the wording? I got the wording here. I don't want to butcher it. Made claims of sexual misconduct against Deshaun Watson. The victim is alleging that the suspended QB pressured her into oral sex during a massage session in 2020. So it's like the same MO. He did all the same things.
Yeah.
Took off his pants, tried to get sex.
Yeah.
Made the person feel really uncomfortable. Pressured him into different version of sex. And here's what's interesting. What I thought I remembered, because I'm putting this in the Dan Snyder episode today, but like, was it his suspension could be extended if another accusation came out, or the Browns with the contract and the guaranteed money if another accusation came out after the initial 25 or 26 they had like locked down, that the Browns could possibly forfeit, get out of some of the money they're paying? I thought like when the NFL is talking about the suspension and they were agreeing to a compromise, they're like, if something else comes out, then we can revisit the suspension. But like, I haven't heard a single outlet mention that. It's like we are so desensitized to these accusations against Watson that it's just been like a blip, like a brief mention. And oh yeah, Deshaun Watson's got another sexual misconduct allegation. Carry on with the rest of your day. It's like,
I'm
I don't
literally
know.
looking it up right now just to see.
Yeah, I was trying to find it this morning before the show, but I couldn't.
Was allowed to re-enter the Browns training facility. Can't practice until November 14th. I'm not seeing anything reporting on it. You could be right. I don't know.
Yeah, and it is being filed through, I think Tony Busby is the lawyer, so the same lawyer who's handled all of the other lawsuits. So
I agree with you. I feel like it's just become, unfortunately, like it's so desensitized. So it's like another one.
Yep. And another one.
All right. You want to preview some games, Brandon Perna?
Sure. Let's take a look at what's going on in the football world.
All right. Hey, Brandon Perna.
Hey,
Why do I
Tom
need to
Grossi.
watch your team on Monday Night Football?
Ooh.
Why do I need... See, here's the problem, too. Because when the schedule is made and it's released in April, right? Like, this is... We don't know. We're like, oh, this could be a really fun game. Like, AFC West. Raiders are supposed to be really good going against the Chiefs. And, like, that actually turned out to be a pretty solid game. But the Broncos got a whole bunch of primetime games because it was thought, the expectation was, they're going to be a good football team. That's why they played Seahawks and Broncos week 1, because they're like, the Seahawks are going to be trash after this week.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Yes. Also, though, like, the Broncos draw really good numbers in primetime games. So, like, that's also why the NFL wanted to get them back in the mix. Then they get Russell Wilson. So I think it's not even just like competitiveness. Like the NFL knows Broncos fans are going to watch
the Cowboys too,
games.
right? Like the Cowboys could suck, but
Yeah.
people love watching the Cowboys.
It was like even after Peyton Manning left, the Broncos were still getting 4 to 5 primetime games with the Trevor. It took the NFL like 4 years to be like, okay,
you're like, wait a minute,
all right. Because there's people in Wyoming, Montana, Utah, Idaho, Western Kansas, South Dakota. You got all of this land that doesn't have football teams. People are tuning in. So, that's why the Broncos traditionally have gotten a lot of games. But yeah, so now, were they competitive in those games? Yeah. That's a word for keeping a game close.
It's a word.
Know if it's the correct word, but the games have been close. There's just been no touchdowns. You need defense. Like if it's a good defensive game, you need the defense to score a touchdown or a punt return. You need something sexy to happen. None of it. What am I defending here?
No, we're talking about what the hell the car wreck of a Monday night game it's going to be. I'm curious against the Chargers offense, like how all the defense is going to do. I just have no expectations for the Broncos offense.
It's going to be tricky because we lose Ron Darby at corner, and he was playing very well. But we get Justin Simmons back. So, that helps. We're getting Greg Dulcich on offense. Haven't seen him used yet. Rookie tight end. And so they also get Michael O.J. Mudia back, who has had kind of just like a weird career with the Broncos. He's shown some like solid talent. He's also been burned a few times, but the thought was like, this is going to be the season he steps into that corner 2 role. The Chargers, I think, are the first team for the Broncos defense who are an elite passing team that they're going to have to defend. So we know Pat Surtain can shut down one guy. Like when I saw him do it to Devontae Adams, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not worried about who he has to cover. Okay. Like, is Keenan Allen going to play for the Chargers? Let me look that up. Keenan Allen. Is he on track? Limited in practice. Okay. So, but he might play still. If Keenan Allen plays, you've got Mike Williams and Allen to defend. And what I'm curious to see is like the guy that Surtain's not covering, like, are we going to get torched? Like, are we going to get torched by one of those dudes? And obviously Austin Eckler, they've remembered he's really good. And we saw Josh Jacobs destroy the Broncos. And I think Eckler he's got that bigger like home run capability than Josh Jacobs. I think they're both really talented, but if the game's a blowout, you're just going to see the Chargers run well, and you're going to see the Broncos struggle to defend receiver number 2, who's really good. And they haven't really played a team that's got 2 legit,
really good receivers,
passing threats. Because even Darren Waller with the Raiders, like he's not playing well this year.
Hunter
right now.
Renfrow still too. I mean,
and he was hurt. He didn't play in that game. So that's why I think the Chargers might run away with this one.
Well, and I honestly,
the Broncos offense scores some GD touchdowns.
So that's what I'm concerned about is your O-line. Because if Khalil Mack is just like, hey.
Yeah. Right tackle has been a revolving door. We might get let me just look at the Broncos injury report. I'll bring it up here, Tom. You can lead the
Listen.
conversation.
Yeah. So I think in terms of the Broncos, that I'm more concerned about their offense. I think because obviously, their defense is going to be the one that's going to keep them in the game. I would just worry that Russell Wilson is going to find himself on the ground a lot. And we've shown throughout the season that when Russell Wilson is in a panic, it usually does not go well. So even in ideal conditions, sometimes it doesn't go well.
Yeah, and even Russ, he's been limited in practice. He's got this
So
shoulder
can you
thing.
explain to me that injury? Because I heard conflicting things. It was like he had a serious injury, but then it really wasn't that serious.
It's a torn lat, partially torn lat, allegedly.
Yes. Bullet Train is a great movie. I watched it at 1:00 in the morning a couple weeks ago, and it's really good.
Ooh, it's all right. Here we go. The injury is interesting because he flew to LA to get an injection. And then a lot of people were like, that's not how you treat that injury. So I don't know. I don't freaking know, Tom.
I don't know if I
Here we go. Here's the difference in the Broncos and Chargers right now. In the Chargers,
Jesus.
They've got, Joey Bosa's, he's not playing, right? He's been hurt. And JC Jackson has not been great yet. But, look at starting linebacker, Josie Jewell, not practicing yet. Dalton Reisner, our guard, not practicing. Boone. All these guys who are limited, I'm not too concerned about. But Quinn Miners right here. This guy, I feel like he has not been on the offensive line. And I think we need him. He's kind of the bully. Yeah. He's the guy you run behind. I think that will help the run game tremendously. Eric Saubert, limited. All these guys are banged up. And this is not mentioning the key players who are on IR. So
sure.
It's everything has gone the wrong way for the Broncos, including bad play. It's not like an excuse. I'm not saying we're playing bad only because of this. We're playing bad and then all this other stuff's happening. So they've got a steep hill. I have no faith. And if I keep no faith, I can only be pleasantly surprised moving forward. That's my new stance.
That's accurate.
What Packers game? Who are you guys playing?
The Jets.
The trap game.
But last week was a trap game.
You got trap game after trap game.
It's a trap after trap after trap.
Yeah. I thought Rodgers was going to have his annual everything's fine game last week. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
I saw a stat about Rodgers. It's his outside the passing numbers or outside the numbers passes are way worse than normal.
Yes.
He's a little bit better on short and inside the numbers passes, but it's kind of flip-flopped of what his talent is. I don't know.
I'm a little concerned about this game. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it is being played at Lambeau. I saw a tweet that I think kind of captures it really, really well. Is that the Packers can't win? In which if the Jets win, then it's full blown panic mode, right? If they win by a little bit, they only beat the Jets by a little bit. If they blow out the Jets, then it was just the Jets. So there's not really a win here. The most important thing is getting a W. These next 2 weeks, Jets, Commanders, very winnable. Then they go to Buffalo on Sunday night, which again, God help me. I think that you need to start seeing the adjustments being made here, in which they need to be able to rely on their run game and then stick to that game plan if it's working. 1. 2, you do want to see some guys continue to emerge. Romeo Doubs has been playing really, really well. For a rookie, he's been getting a bunch of targets. He's been getting open, even if Rodgers is not getting the ball to him. They need to figure out what the hell they want to do with Christian Watson, because right now they just have him running jet sweeps and motions. He's not really running any routes right now. So they need to figure out what to do with him. And that's the offense. And then hopefully the offensive line, which should be good now, is not. And we need to figure out why the hell that is. And going up against a good defense in the Jets, they need to figure that out quickly. Also, their secondary in the Jets is very good as well. Sauce has been playing off his rocker. Then there's the defense. The run defense has struggled. 1. 2, And I truly don't understand why a guy like Jair Alexander is playing 10 yards off the receiver. And Barry finally addressed this. He's like, yeah, we should let him, like, play a little bit more man coverage. You think? Might be a good idea. Like, that secondary should be top 5, and we're not. So, like, you just got to hope that the execution is here this week, because, like, we need to just kind of have a get right game. And again, it's super early, but if you lose to the Jets, there is going to be a lot of panic. And for some reasons, it's going to be justifiably so, because they're not putting it together. And we thought that they wouldn't put together on offense. They just lean on the run game a little bit more, but it would be put together on the defense, because I will be very honest, I'm more pissed at the defense than I am at the offense, because there's no reason that they should be playing the way that they did in the second half last week. There's no reason. So, Rasul had like some really bad penalties last week, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
But like Darnell Savage
hasn't that happened
struggling.
like twice this year? Like penalties on Douglas were an
last
issue?
week was bad. Last week was definitely bad. But I think in terms of, just the overall play, like the players have to execute better. And then they just, like, the coaching has to be better on defense, because there's no reason that Daniel Jones should carve him up like that. There's no reason. So, yeah, we
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and you got the run game going. So we're gonna see. I'm a little nervous about it, though.
Yeah, I think the matchups, the Packers offense against the Jets defense. I think that's the strength of the Jets is their defense right now. And the Packers will click on offense. I really do feel that. Did you say Christian Watson running a lot of like jet sweeps and they're not getting him the ball?
They're just like using him a ton in like motions and stuff. Yeah, and that's it.
That was Jerry Jeudy last year.
He has great speed.
Yeah, that was Jerry Jeudy last year. The joke was Jerry Jeudy has set the record for most motion yards without ever getting a jet sweep called his way. So, yeah, maybe they get that. Maybe they get that fixed. Maybe Big Bob Tunyon finally has a game. Something's got to give on that offense. I just trust Aaron Rodgers to fix it. But
these are the 2 weeks. If you don't get it like fixed in the next 2 weeks, you're going to get the piss smacked out of you against Buffalo.
Yeah. I think for the Jets right now, if you're a Jets fan, you feel really good about who Robert Saleh is as a head coach. I feel like he's like that. Oh man, it's like he's kind of like sexy, low-key Dan Campbell. You know what I mean? He brings that same sort of like tough guy energy, but he's just so good looking and handsome, and players love him. You're just like, okay, I trust this guy. Like, I trust him. But he doesn't coach the Lions, so I think there's just more chance for him to succeed. This is how I segue into talking about the Lions, because Dan Campbell got outcoached by Bill Belichick and former Lions head coach Matt Patricia. It was a beatdown that none of us wanted to see. And a lot of that had to do with Jared Goff finally playing a little bit more like Jared Goff. Now, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't think he was fully ready to go last week. Who do the Lions play this week? Because they're another team who is underperforming. Are they on a bye? Dang, Lions are on a bye.
Yes, because I have Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay. So they just need a rest up this week, is my point.
They can't lose this week.
That's good. That's what they need, though. It's like DeAndre Swift and St. Brown, like their offense was so potent with both of those guys being like big factors. And I know Jamal Williams came in and was awesome, but like I just want to see them. I want to see them continue to have a good offense. And if the defense continues to struggle for the Lions, then it's like, who's that to blame? Is it lack of talent on defense, or are we looking at one of Hard Knocks' favorites, Aaron Glenn? You know what I mean? Like, where's the issue there? So, we'll see. We'll see.
It's gonna be fun. I think Browns Patriots could low key be a good game. Like I think that's gonna be a very low scoring, like defensive.
Bailey
game.
Zappi versus Jacoby Brissett.
So that should be on prime time. Like again, it's just gonna be like hand the ball off, good strong defense. I'm curious on seeing that one.
It's the massage off. You got Robert Kraft versus the suspended Watson team. Wow. What a disgusting, despicable matchup. Both organizations should be in jail.
There you go. Bengals and Saints. I think that's another low key good game because I have no idea who wins that. I actually picked the Saints to win, but yeah, I got no idea.
Yeah, I think Will and I took the Bengals.
49ers are good. Yeah, they got a lot of injuries.
It just feels like they've got to put it together. Again, maybe the Bengals will be prepared for the onslaught that could be Taysom Hill. So like if they got a game plan to stop Taysom Hill, then I think they'll be all right.
Yep.
Is Jameis Winston coming back yet? Is he in? Where's he at? There's so many injuries early this season.
Even if he comes back, though, I don't even know if they want him back.
Yeah. Jameis Winston still limited. Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry remain out. That's what's killing the Saints is they can't stay healthy anymore.
No, they cannot. We got the game of the week, the one that everyone is looking forward to. And no, I'm not talking about the Panthers and the Rams. I'm talking about, of course, the Bills and the Chiefs. I am so freaking fracking excited for this game. I am. I'm really I am just pumped to see like these two teams just go out and beat the hell out of each other. Like it was kind of a few weeks ago, like you knew the Bills Ravens game was going to be really good. And like you just know that this game is going to be fun.
Yeah. It is the rematch of
arguably one of the best playoff games I've ever seen.
Yeah. That was it was insane. It just went to the victory went to the wrong team. Chiefs fans. Here's what I will say. You know what I know Buffalo is going to do? Is cover Travis Kelce in the red zone. They're going to cover that Travis Kelce real good in the red zone. That's what Buffalo Bills do, and that's what they do well. I just call me crazy. The Bills defense is a lot better than the Raiders defense, specifically in the secondary. Jordan Poyer, does he lead the league in picks right now? Like they lose Micah Hyde and Poyer. I feel like Poyer's just elevated his game in the back end.
Don't worry, fam. I got you.
So, and I think the Bills can get after the QB more naturally now. Like they're better at pressuring the opposing quarterback than they were last postseason. And it's not just Von Miller; it's the other guys feasting a little bit because of Von. So, I got hope.
You look at the Raiders too. In the first half of that game, their game plan, get after Patrick Mahomes, and it worked. It worked really, really well.
Yes.
If the Bills don't let up on that, they should be able to win this game.
Yeah, it was like the Raiders pass rush just disappeared in that game. Like it just stopped at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they just got like tired. I don't know if it was game plan. I don't know if the offensive line was just like, "Hey guys, let's actually start to block."
Yeah, Poyer does lead the league in picks right now. 4.
Von Miller, he's coming. He's coming. Yeah, that's gonna be a really, really fun game, though. Yes, I am streaming. People were asking. Yeah, I'm streaming 3 games. 3.
Von Miller, baby, drop a bill on those Chiefs, and that's the thing. Like the Chiefs, they did 2 things on Monday night. They looked very beatable, and they also looked unstoppable.
Yeah,
like
both of those existed.
Yeah, it's if they were playing any team that wasn't the Raiders, that was also a good team. I think they might lose that game. But they also had Travis Kelce score 4 touchdowns. Like it's like, how do you defend these guys in the red zone? Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce have a really entertaining podcast, by the way.
They do.
Like, they're fun, and it really pains me to say that, like. It's fun to listen to Travis Kelce because
I saw that clip or whatever they were talking about corners.
Yeah,
like that's phenomenal.
Yeah, Jason Kelce's legit really funny, and he's just like, corner is the hardest position because they don't even let white guys play it because they can't. It's so hard. White guys
even let
them
try anymore.
Yeah, shit was like hilarious.
I love it.
But yeah, the Bills, they feel like a really complete team right now, and they feel that way despite all of the injuries they fought through this season.
Yep.
So, man, I hope it's like I think everybody is like, this might be like a 38-35 type game. Might be like 21-20, because I think both defenses are a little underrated. Specifically, like the Bills defense is very good right now. I think they're like number 2. They have the number 2 offense. Chiefs have the number 1 offense. I don't know where their defense is ranked. But I kind of want to see it close, and I want to see it that way because both defenses play pretty well, because I think that says more for each team and how good they can be for the rest of the season.
And like as soon as the schedule came out, they like circled this game and they were like, we're throwing everything at them, like everything. Watch them like run the ball the entire time. They're just like, hey, didn't expect that to come, right? We aren't running it all season, but
well, that's an X factor for the Bills. You saw a couple carries late with James Cook, and you're like, this is the guy they need him to be. And if they can rely on that out of the backfield, they become almost impossible to defend.
That's amazing. I love
hilarious.
It. Yeah, so that'll be fun. And then, like I said, Sunday Night Football, you got the Cowboys and the Eagles. Dude, I'm telling you, Scooter's going to be so bad if the Cowboys win. He's going to be so bad. I think that the Eagles defense is good enough to contain Cooper Rush. They just have to stop the run, and they'll win that football game. And, deal with the defense of the Cowboys.
Yeah. The Eagles, they've got the secondary to hang with, CeeDee Lamb. And, well, here's Michael Gallup's getting healthy. And it's like he might be the difference for the Cowboys, especially when Dak gets back. The Cowboys are in a nice situation where they don't feel the pressure to return Dak early from injury.
Yeah, which is great.
Like, these wins have basically bought Dak the right amount of time he needs to heal.
Correct.
But yeah, this game's going to be fun. And I didn't think I would be saying that about Eagles Cowboys.
I think it's going to be low scoring. Like I really do, because I think you look at what the Cowboys are going to do. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to be playing defense.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to be doing. And then you look at the Eagles, they're just going to try to find ways to just pick apart that defense. And that's going to be difficult, whether it's going to be with running the ball because that's what they're really good at, or it's going to be, taking advantage of Trayvon Diggs and burning him.
Ooh. AJ Brown on Diggs, Devontae Smith. There's some questions, I think, how the Cowboys secondary will match up with those guys. And Jalen Hurts, he can negate the pass rush just by running. But I think Hurts has to have he needs like a really solid passing game again, because after a couple really good games, the last 2, it's been a little more Jalen Hurtsy narrative.
His feet.
For the Hurts haters out there.
Well,
so I think, and Dallas Goedert for Philly, he's been his security blanket, and Dallas against Dallas. You know what I say, Tom? That's just Dallas.
That's just Dallas. I also think the Eagles do need to play a tougher team, and I think the Cowboys right now present that challenge.
Yeah, they're the first real test.
Yeah, so let's see how good they are. So
because when they played Kirk Cousins, he had yet to wear the big gold chain.
There you go.
And
it's Monday night too. Monday nights.
Yeah. So, how stupid is that Carson Wentz 7-0 stat on Thursday Night Football?
It's really bad. It's really bad. And Carson's like, I did? I
didn't know. Cool.
I didn't know. All right. Well, it should be a fun week of football. I think some of the games will be really, really good. So hopefully they live up to the hype a little bit. And even if not, Bills Chiefs.
Badgers Spartans. Is that Wisconsin USC?
He hasn't been that bad. That's true.
Oh, they're the Trojans. That's Michigan. Badgers, Michigan? I know college.
No, aren't Michigan the Wolverines?
Michigan State.
Oh. I don't watch college football, so I don't care.
One of them's in there.
There you go.
Come on, guys.
Brandon Perna, what you got coming out? Oh, you got a video coming out this morning, right? You're saying?
Yeah, well, as soon as I can get
Dan Snyder.
Dan Snyder. It's 90% done. I just got to shoot it, edit it, written. And then hopefully I'll have my Justin Fields episode finished by Sunday. So
maybe I'll wait for you to put yours out, and I'll just make sure that I'm doing something different. So I don't want to.
You're doing a Justin Fields one?
I was saying I was thinking about it just because like it's been a while since I've kind of like broken it down, and like I would just like talk about because I think it's one of the things that I'm the most fascinated about the NFL because I just love football.
Yeah.
Is that idea of QBs going to different teams and how does it work out differently?
Yeah.
Right? Is Aaron Rodgers if he starts immediately for the San Francisco 49ers who were terrible that year? You know what I mean? Like, is Alex Smith in a different position? Is Mitch Trubisky in a different position? Is Justin Fields now?
It's, there's so many factors outside of the quarterback's control that unless they're the transcendent talent, right?
Yep.
Unless they are like Andrew Luck or Peyton
yep.
Manning, it's fit, talent around you, health, the coaching. So it's not even like coaching and fit. Like, could be right fit schematically, but if the coach is bad, it's just tough. The division you play in, all of that stuff. It's like Tom Brady. If you were drafted by the Browns because they had a quarterback pick a few before the Patriots, they took, I don't forget who they take. Like if he goes to Cleveland, I highly doubt he's Tom Brady that we know today.
That's the thing. He might not even gotten the chance to be Tom Brady.
Yeah. Like he might have turned into a good quarterback who won a Super Bowl somewhere. I think he's got that thing, that drive that you need to be like a perfectionist to get there, but like he's not winning multiple ones.
That is kind of what you said, Bert.
90% written.
90% done. I just have to record it. I have to edit it. I got to make a thumbnail. I got to do voiceovers.
Yeah. Well, Will and I, we wanted to wait another week to give Fields one more chance. You know what I mean? Because it's called Bustin' Fields. Like that wordplay, baby.
Hey, got him.
Hey, got him. If you want to collab on it too, Tom, we can. I don't know.
Can I just like pop in and go, Bears suck? That's all I say.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. What do you have today?
I'm going to do a short. I don't know if it's going to be on Justin Fields or it's going to be Amazon calling the NFL to get their money back. It's going to be one of the others. It's going to be because that Amazon, I'm telling you, that Amazon short, I knew as soon as I put it out, it was going to be good. It's about to hit 600,000 views. So I know that. And you know how much money I made off of it?
None.
$0. $0. It's fine.
$9.
It's fine. It's fine. I knew it was good content. I knew it was good. And then of course, Friday night Q&A.
Boom.
Tonight, 7:30 p.m. Why not both, Tom? I have a list on the whiteboard upstairs of short ideas. Just wait. I have so many ideas. So many skits. So many. But that's what we got. But folks, as Brandon Perna said, we had over 3,100 people in here again for a Friday. Let's frickin' do it. We appreciate you showing up every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. But folks, you have yourself a great weekend. It's going to be a fun weekend of football. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
And you've reached your destination.